Alright guys, I'm going to do a real quick video here. I'm titling this just simply Before. I'm big on comic book history. I sort of geek out on it a little bit. What I'm going to do is show you, a couple of series and stuff that if you enjoy hot books today or, hot books from, sort of the past, you may want to check out some of these titles because I kind of consider them like the originals. That's not knocking, the big books that, you probably have heard of. But it's just sort of like these are like little forgotten gems and stuff that if you like the hot book, you might like the before, you know. Um, and real quick update, man. I was gone after like about 2 days here, where I moved into this place. We were supposed to do a thing where we transferred the electric, uh, the electric bill, the electric, electric account, whatever you want to call it. It was supposed to have been transferred from rentor, the person who I'm renting from, to me, since I'm now renting the place. And turned around and they messed up. They accidentally turned his account off and didn't. It was supposed to have been like no um, interruption in service. So I ended up having to, my cell phones were dead. I didn't even figure out that the power was off when I came home after work until it started getting dark around 7:30, 8 o'clock. And the neighbor I was talking about, who's been recording me and told me he's going to do a background check and stuff, real interesting. I ended up having to use their phone and went over to their house. Nice people. His wife, was really nice to me and stuff. But when I walked in, he had a Russian AK-57 or something and a pistol on his in his living room right there on the table with 500 rounds. And he started talking about all the families and the mafia and stuff he used to work for, and how his son is with maybe the federal government, which he alluded to maybe being the FBI. So in a way, they helped me out and they were real nice, and I'm very grateful, and I thank them. And we wave now when he's mowing. I saw him mowing the yard today and stuff. But wow, what a neighbor! I might actually try to do a video on him or something one day. I don't know. Anyway, moving on back to Before. Okay, those of you who are big fans of Fables, I think this was in 1988. Let me look here. 1998. A lady named Linda Medley, and I believe this won some awards, did Castle Waiting. And this kind of picks up on the Ever After, the Grimm fairy tales and the Mother Goose and stuff. These are all the characters that she just happily ever after ended, and that's the trick with fairy tales. They end it happily ever after, and then she just picks up after the ever after. And since I got quite a few books here to show, I'll just give you a taste. Black and white little castle. If you like Bone and stuff like this, there's a lot of really nice characters throughout all these that you'll recognize as you read. Okay, so there's number one. This is a third printing. The rest are first printings. Number, three. They may be out of order. Yeah, they are. Number two. And number six. And each one of these, this really, deserves a review of its own. Kirby Genesis started last year, and it seems to be on hiatus or something. One of the actual new books that I collect and look forward to. But before that, and I think this is actually wrapping up now, is from Image. We had Godland, and man, this thing is by Joe Casey and named Tom Scioli, Scioli. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And man, this is just a love letter to Kirby. There's number one, number two, and I mean, this is just, they just got the energy of Kirby. I mean, Kirby, this is Kirby. Kirby really can't be duplicated, but these guys really get in there, and it's all the Kirby crackle and the Kirby energy, and you can tell they're pulling from this, everything Kirby ever did, man. Some of these characters, you'll know who they are when they get in there. It's got Challengers uniforms. It's got a little nod to the Baxter building, like right there in this building. There's the rocket, where the rocket can come out or something, And it's just got all these great, big, huge cosmic, heroes and pages and energy. And I quit at number 3 because I don't remember what happened. I think I just got away from a comic book shop and couldn't keep going, but you know how I work. You know, I'll end up finding them cheap. Okay, for you guys, I got two of them here from Kurt Busiek. And for you guys that like Thunderbolts, this is the book to get. This is the Regulators. Never was finished, and I actually found Kurt Busiek online on comicboards.com. I think it was a Superman board a few years ago. I was able to send him a message asking him if it was ever going to get finished. And of course, you know, there's no plans at the time. But this is from the Jim Valentino section, I guess, of you know, your little Valentino universe of Image there. And these were guys that fought Starhawk and whatnot, and they're the villains. And each issue that you see how they were living and stuff. Everyday stuff. I mean, to me, this was better than Thunderbolts, in my opinion. But it's all a matter of opinion, guys. You know, Thunderbolts was freaking awesome. The music was on it too. I don't want to hype up the book. But this is the one I liked, Arson. This was the last issue. This thing was supposed to have been a big, huge mini-series, and they just didn't finish it. But this is Arson, and it gives a little origin of him. And you get to see his everyday life. He has to sit on a chair made out of cinder blocks because he's always on fire. He has to get, I'm going by memory here, he has to get frozen dinners and hurry up and pop them in his mouth because they char right before they get in his mouth and stuff. That's how he has to eat. He can't touch another woman. And there's a female villain who, after you get to know Arson and stuff, how he can't touch anybody, and he, you know, he misses intimacy and stuff, and you know, it's all done tastefully. She's able to, being a villain, she's able to manipulate him because I think she's like indestructible, and he can touch her, and she just plants a big old kiss on him, and he's gone, he's hers. You know, it just ended right when things were getting going. Last year they had the hardback, moving on to another book, Superman Earth 1 by J. Michael Straczynski. And you know, a lot of mixed reviews, but apparently they're coming out with Batman Earth 1, and you know, this thing seems like they're going to be taking their time and getting back on it and everything. But originally we had, let me get these in order, Kurt Busiek's by far, and I told him, absolute best work ever, better than his Avengers, better than Astro City, better than anything he's done. Superman's Secret Identity. I just turned around. There we go. And basically, this takes off like from DC Comics Presents number 87 of Superboy, who was on Earth Prime. And the old multiverse, for you guys don't know, Earth Prime was supposed to be our world. This is a guy named Clark Kent. And what is great about this is that the very first page is from, you know, a reprint of Action Comics. It's his birthday. He's a teen. I think he might be getting ready to graduate or something. And he's read the Superman books and everything like that, and he goes camping, and he wakes up and he's floating in a sleeping bag, able to fly. Government gets involved. He does become a reporter, but you see reporters like it is in real life. There's number 1. These I will probably do a review all its own on there one day. Number 3. Number 2, out of order, I can't believe that. And number 4. But he ends up having children and everything. And the twist is, what they kind of allude to is that this may be a product of evolution. They don't really answer why he ended up getting powers. But did those powers shape themselves because of his knowledge of Superman and reading those comics, so he just assumed that was going on? And as he gets older down the line, after the government's chasing him and all the drama that's in there and everything, and this is all done like real world style, you know, he gets up older, and when he's flying, he's getting colder, and he can tell his powers are sort of diminishing over time and stuff. And then all of a sudden, there's all these people, and it gave me the idea of Legion of Superheroes, because that's where you start getting the hint that maybe this is just human evolution or something. But yeah, I'll probably do a review all in its own on those books, because you know, that's just way too simple. It was an excellent, excellent story. Now, the last one I want to do here is fans of Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. Okay, Alan Moore, to a certain extent, recycled a few concepts. Now, by no means are you going to pick up this book and read it and be like, oh my God, he just rehashed everything he did in Swamp Thing. No, what he did is, it's a writing tool. Okay, this is a reprint of the Captain Britain stories from the early 80s by Alan Moore and Alan Davis, that never really came over to America until they put them in trade. You know, that's one of the good things I think Joe Quesada did. They even got Alan Moore to, you know, do a forward in this. And where it's kind of like Swamp Thing is there's this. It's an amalgam of flesh and metal called the Fury. It's like just a killing machine. And so help me, I wish I could remember the name of the pink futuristic Sentinel that came back in the from the past and came to the past in the X-Men, because this is where I think he came from. But the first thing he does is that he obliterates Captain Britain. Okay, so Captain Britain, it's a hell of a cliffhanger there. So all of a sudden you got Roma and all these people, and they're regrowing Captain Britain. Okay, I can get some pages in there. They're talking over him, and that's his skeleton there. And throughout this chapter, they're reviewing the origin of Captain Britain. We're getting to know him now. Now that's sort of, and then there he is with his muscles growing back and everything as they keep talking over him, reviewing the history of Captain Britain. And they just keep growing him back, and let you know who Captain Britain is, until they just bring him back to life. Now, in the anatomy lesson, a lot of people don't realize that issue. Oh my gosh, what was that? 2021. Anyway, they think the anatomy lesson was Alan Moore's first Swamp Thing book. No. In the issue before, he had to tie up a whole lot of loose plot lines so he could move on, and he ended up killing Swamp Thing, getting him shot. Floronic Man is brought in the next issue, the classic anatomy lesson, and he just sort of dissects the Swamp Thing, and it was great because that's a tool. He did sort of the same thing by regrowing Captain Britain, breaking him down. It was metaphorical of, we're going to break down the character, here's what's before, and now that we've regrown him, or with Swamp Thing, now that we've dissected him and who he was, and now we know what he really is, it's a whole fresh start from here. And that's kind of what he did. He tied everything up. A little bonus in this is for some of you guys out there. There's a Miracle Man cameo where the Fury obliterates him, and everybody's flipping out because it's like, oh my gosh, he's killed, Miracle Man. Look, he's killed Miracle Man. Now, another thing that I like about this is, anybody that read Chris Claremont's X-Men, I don't point a finger at Chris Claremont, but I have a feeling he was told to do this. There is so much in this Captain Britain with Psylocke that Excalibur, oh my gosh, the red Sentinel, the pink Sentinel from the future. Oh my gosh. Anyway, there's so much that Chris Claremont pulled from this run of Captain Britain that made the X-Men successful in the 80s. 123 Comic Man, you're a big X-Men guy, and if you find this cheap, you might want to check it out. Maybe get online and look it up. People like that, X-Men fans, Chris Claremont era. A lot pulled out of that. I mean, that's where Psylocke came from, but Betty Braddock, and there was just a lot of concepts and stuff that just sort of made me question just how original Chris Claremont was there for a while. But it's not a slam on him, don't get me wrong. So, just wanted to share those. You guys have a good weekend, good evening. Maybe I'll pop another video on here. So, all right, ciao.